Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Rev Dele. I am a mystic, an earth keeper, and a resilience leader. And I've just come out of the solstice and the new moon in the Hudson Valley, where it looks like this. You know, the solstice and the new moon both invite us to go into the darkness, but it's not a spooky darkness. It's a darkness that's like the womb. We are invited at these times into the womb of our consciousness, and we're invited to go and poke around and see what new growth is there. What can we nurture? And so that's what I've been doing. Like everyone else, I am intensely focused on the existential threat that surrounds us. And I'm looking at people in despair, and I'm looking at people furiously pursuing business solutions that require a whole lot of money. And I'm looking at people who are pursuing technical solutions that say create a new universe. I look at people who are frantically writing new rules and regulations, trying to stop what we've created. But let's think about what we've created. If you had someone who had set their own house on fire and they stayed in it, would you say that they had a political problem, an economic problem? Well, I think we'd say they had an emotional, spiritual problem. And that's what humanity has right now. We have a deep, deep spiritual problem because we have tried to disconnect from our earth mother. We have tried to disconnect from the substance that makes us who we are. And so that's why I'm very confident that we can actually thrive through this climate chaos. We can thrive as we come closer back to Earth Mother. I have some notes I want to share with you about how you might think about coming closer to Earth Mother. I want you to think about the ecosystem that you live in. What does that mean? That might be the first step. Do you live in the forest, the desert? Do you live in a prairie? Do you live in a floodplain? Do you live by the river, the ocean? All of these ecosystems have specific designs, specific plant families that live together, specific insect and animal families that are all designed to work together. And we're supposed to work with them in the ecosystem that we've been given to care for. So I want you to really think, even if you live in the suburbs, if you live in the city, where you live is still the ecosystem that it was before you covered it up with cement. That's part of the disconnection. But we can claim that. We can bring it back into our minds. Think about what's the watershed that you live in? Where does your water that you drink come from? And where does it flow out to? Think about that. Where does it come from? And where does it go to? Do you know those are your neighbors? I like a saying that Wendell Berry said. He says that do unto others downstream as you would have those upstream do unto you. Think about that. Now think about this. What nature lessons do you enjoy passing on to others? You know, nature doesn't exist just for our individual enjoyment. She's there to teach us. And so every time that we are among the trees or among the flowers, if we're watching a squirrel scamper across the sidewalk, what are they teaching us? That's part of our relationship with our Earth Mother. And as it relates to being our brothers and our sisters' keeper, when you stand in your house on the eastern side where the sun rises, who are you facing? Not just humans, who are you? Not just that, oh, I'm looking at someone's curtains. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Who are they? You know, who are the plant families that you face? Who are the human social groups? You know, what clubs exist on the eastern side? What small mammals are there? What birds are there? the side of your house where the sun rises. And now let's flip it. Where the sun goes down, who's there? Who are you facing? Are they content or are they troubled? Do you know? That's part of reclaiming our connection with Earth and all our relations. Now let's go a little deeper into the soil. What are the benefits and the challenges of the soil that's beneath your feet? Every soil type has a personality that's beneficial and we can work with it. What native plants prefer to be planted in this soil? Do they prefer the spring to be planted, or do they prefer to be planted in the fall? What kind of seeds do they drop? Oh, what about this? What birds like to eat those seeds? See, this is when we begin to come back into the cycles and the circles and the rhythms of Earth Mother. This is when we begin to restore our place as a part of creation, and we begin to respect all our relations. So think about this. If someone said that they loved you, but they didn't even remember the color of your eyes, would you believe that they loved you? This is the situation we find ourselves in. Even our environmentalists who are working hard to protect the planet, they're in despair because they themselves do not have a personal relationship with our Earth Mother. There's no way that you could be in despair if you had surrounded yourself with her abundance and if you were aware of the lessons that she was giving you every day. So this idea of communing with Earth Mother is not just for people that we call those tree huggers. It's for all of us who are concerned about the planet. There are specific forms that nature uses to accomplish functions. And once we understand those forms, again, we can work with our Earth Mother to perform the functions. For example, rivers, we already know they transport items from one destination to another, but we're not supposed to pollute those destination carriers. We know that spirals facilitate growth. Branches. What I like about the branches on the tree is that you have individual expression of different branches. One goes this way, one goes that way, and yet they're all connected to the same source. And they don't fight about it. That's a lesson for us. And what about tessellation? That's where you have repeated whole patterns like beehives. What can we learn about cooperation from looking at those particular patterns of life? These are all different meditations that we can engage in all day long as we come home to Mother Nature. I also lead longer meditations where we really go inside of our being and we look at our own energy centers and we see how are they connected? How is our first energy center actually a microcosm of Earth? How does the moon actually function inside our body? Our solar plexus, where we have all that fiery digestion, it's a mini sun. How can we gain those lessons and come closer to an understanding of that replication? And our heart, which is the energy center that really holds air, that's where we go into the Milky Way. And we can rest and rock in the movement of the Milky Way, the spiraling out and the spiraling in. As our breath comes in and our breath goes out. We can really learn more about ourselves as we learn more about Mother Nature. Mother Nature can even help us with our one of our hardest social dilemmas, and that's racism. Why? Because Mother Nature already knows how to put different things together and let them be in harmony. We can, in meditation, go inside and remove those isms. That's work that we can do with somatic healing. We can go inside and heal those traumatic history experiences so that we don't have to carry the wounds with us everywhere. We can remove the fear that drives domination. All of these things are things that we can do very easily, very softly and gently in communion and community with Earth Mother and with one another. And that's what I invite us to do. Come home to nature in your spirituality, in your political life, in your economic endeavors. Come on home. Mother Earth is waiting for you.